I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead hands. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right. Oh, the stadium is just like my second house. Now I'm two-tone talking, they can't shut my mouth. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up.
Well. I accidentally stepped on my mic cord and unplugged it, so I was a little late getting on, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, November the 21st, 2025. The Tennessee Titans, 1-9. Seattle Seahawks coming to town. Harrison says this is 192, not 193. I don't know if that's true, Harrison. Hold on now. While I look into this, the Seattle Seahawks are coming to town this Sunday. And I said this when the Titans played the Colts the second time. No, this is episode 193. Monday was episode 192, as I have it. But either way, You know what, Harrison? I did not skip 190. 190 was pre-recorded, and I forgot to add it to the playlist. I have to fix that. But anyway, I said it when the Titans played the Colts the second time that I thought it could be one of the most lopsided games of the season in the NFL. And it ended up being 38-14, which was a lopsided game, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, it was obviously a whooping. But this game here coming up on Sunday between the Titans and the Seahawks has potential to once again be one of the most lopsided NFL games of the year. Because I know the Seahawks lost to the Rams last week, but before that game, the Seahawks were not just beating teams, they were obliterating teams. I'm talking like up 30-0 by halftime, And so think about that in context of the Titans. And now the Seahawks are coming off of a loss. They are coming off of a loss to the Rams where Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions and they still almost won. Seahawks are not going to be happy. Their defense, I think, is a top 5 defense in the NFL. And the Titans, whose roster is not great anyway, they are limping into this game. They are limping into this game. Calvin Ridley obviously broke his leg. Alec Manor, it looks like he's not going to play. He hasn't practiced all week. So you're down 2 wide receivers. Could it be Xavier Restrepo time? It's probably his best chance of the season so far. There are injuries. There are, even without injuries. I mean, forget injuries. Like, it's a bad roster. It's a bad team. We know that. So I think Sunday could very well be ugly. I think the Seahawks could come in and absolutely obliterate the Tennessee Titans by halftime. I think that's possible. But the title of this episode is Maybe It's Not As Bad As It Seems. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I am fully aware that this team is every bit as bad as they seem. Okay, I know that this 2025 Tennessee Titans, they are every bit as bad as their 1-9 record would suggest, and maybe even worse, because the one game they won was just very, very crazy. You could argue they should be 0-10 right now. They are very lucky to even have a win. I am fully aware that this Titans team is awful. And for all of the reasons that we've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks. Poorly coached. Roster's not good. Schematically, the offense is incapable of working unless you have Hall of Fame talent. But the reason I say it may not be as bad as it seems, that I'm more so referring to the big picture. Because I know that when you see that the Titans had to fire a GM, and then the GM they hired to replace him, they fired him too, and then they fired Vrabel, and then the coach they brought in to replace Vrabel, they fired him too. I know that it's been a poop show in the front office. And I know that trading A.J. Brown, like I'm not making up for the past. I mean, trading A.J. Brown, all of those terrible John Robinson drafts, like that's every bit as bad as it seems in the rear view. But the reason I think the future might not be as bleak as what we've seen, the reason why I think you can look at, because there's this belief, and it's not just the Titans, it's every team that's at the bottom right now. Go listen to YouTube channels and podcasts and radio shows about the Jets or the Browns or the Raiders. I mean, it's the exact same thing. The Falcons, I know the Falcons are getting a lot of this right now. The team's really bad right now, and so the outlook for the future seems hopeless. It seems like there's no way out of this. And in life, when we get into hard times in life, one of the things that makes it so tough mentally is the belief that it's never going to get better. You know, when you get sick, you just want to feel better, and you're scared that you're never going to feel better. When something bad happens that has you, I don't know, depressed, You're worried that not only am I depressed now, but I'm going to be depressed forever and I'm never going to feel right again. That's serious stuff. But in this regard, when you look at the Titans, as much as we all love the Titans, we look and we say, okay, we're terrible now and we're going to be terrible. And then you have Eddie George come out and say stuff like, we've been set back a decade. And then all of the negative fans just eat that up like it's chocolate pie. They're just like, yes, negativity and doom. That's what we love. Jared Stillman's like, I've got content for the next 6 months off of that Eddie George quote. And my 7 listeners are going to love it. I shouldn't say that. But, I've just heard from a lot of Stillmanites in the comments the last couple of days. That's why it's on my mind. But the reason why I think it may not be as bad. So when you look at where we are right now, the roster is awful, right? Let's take a look at that first. The roster is terrible. It is just objectively, especially on offense. I mean, defensively, at least you have Jeff, you have Sweat, Cedric Gray's playing well, you have Kevin Winston who stepped in and played well, but offensively, you're getting nothing from your running backs, right? I mean, you got 25 yards rushing from Pollard and Spears on Sunday against Houston. Your wide receiving group, obviously the Calvin Ridley thing just completely failed. And beyond the roster offensively, the coaching, the scheme, it's all bad, right? And I think we had to know going in, this roster wasn't going to be great. I mean, we watched the moves they made in the offseason. Dan Moore, Xavier Woods, Van Jefferson. I mean, these were the kind of guys they brought in. Not exactly the type of guys you bring in if you believe we're going to be a dang good roster. I mean, remember, Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi were asked if this roster could compete for a Super Bowl, and they laughed. That happened before the season started. They laughed at the very idea. Everybody be sure to click the like button, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube. But looking forward, there is an opportunity to improve the roster in multiple ways. The Titans are going to have a lot of money to spend. The Titans are going to have a very high draft pick, maybe even a number 1 pick that they could trade back and get a lot of picks for. There's going to be an opportunity there to improve the roster, and there's going to be a new head coach. I hate that Callahan ended up being so bad. I hate that Callahan ended up being just one of the worst head coaching hires ever, but he was. You've got to follow it up with a home run here. I mean, it's a very important act of business that they've got to conduct in January in searching for a new head coach, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I mean, you got to hope that Borgonzi knows what kind of guy he's looking for, and you hire the right coach and you make the right moves. One thing you got to keep in mind, though, as to why it may not be so hopeless. I agree the Titans are objectively terrible, poorly coached, all the things. But can we just talk about the schedule they've had for a team that's this bad, for a roster and a rookie quarterback and a lot of rookies and a lot of young guys? Can we talk about the schedule? I mean, the schedule has not done the Titans any favors. You open the season with the Broncos, who are a top 5 team in the league and top 5 defense. The Colts twice, who are much better in every way than people thought. The Texans, who look pretty darn good. You've played them twice. The Chargers are usually good. The Patriots are a top 5 team in the league. The only game that they've lost so far that you could look at and be like, they should have won that one, would have been the Raiders. That's the one loss that you can be like, I mean, that one, and now you got the Seahawks coming to town. That's going to be miserable. You still got to go to San Francisco at some point and play the 49ers. That's going to be miserable. And you still got to play the Chiefs. That's going to be miserable. So while the Titans are objectively terrible, the schedule's done them no favors. And I know after the Houston game Sunday, everybody was like, whoa, Cam Ward he really struggled against this Texans defense. Well, did you watch Josh Allen against the Texans defense last night? Because I would dare say Cam Ward did better against the Texans on Sunday than Josh Allen did last night. The Texans very well may have the best defense in the league. And so, again, copium, whatever, in your assessment of Cam Ward, as you sit here and you say, why does he suck so bad? Why can't he get anything going? Mason Kinsey and Van Jefferson are his main receivers. He's being coached by the biggest clown show in the NFL, and he's playing top 5 defenses regularly. Regularly. And top 10 defenses for sure. So, and I agree with Unit 285. I don't know what the actual name is of Unit 285 because it's only giving me the @ symbol. But they said that the Titans have had the toughest schedule in the NFL. That might end up being a good thing for Cam Ward. Throw him into the deep end of the pool, sink or swim. Yeah, maybe. But I'm going to tell you, I mean, they got to play the Browns next week. And I don't know. I mean, the Browns aren't good as a team, but they got a good defense. I mean, so that's still going to be tough. So just keep that in mind. That not only are the Titans bad anyway, but they've been going against, the Rams. I didn't even mention the Rams. The Rams, I think, are the best team in the NFL right now, and we had to play them. And they've got one of the best defenses in the NFL. So keep that in mind. As you assess Cam Ward and as you try and figure out how you feel about him, yes, there's a middle ground here. In talking about hope for the future, there is a middle ground. You don't have to, we see this in politics all the time where you've got to either be all the way that way to an unbelievable degree or you got to be all the way that way to an unbelievable degree. There's a fair middle ground here when it talks about Cam Ward. It's okay to acknowledge that he's struggling in some areas. His deep ball accuracy, his ball handling, his turnovers, his pocket presence, it's all stuff that's got to improve. I mean, that's an objective fact. It's not like you're out on the guy or you want to trade him or you think he's a bust just because you're willing to admit he's struggling in those areas, because he is. Some of these struggles are just things he's struggling with, and it's not because of anything around him. It's just because of him struggling. But it is also okay to bring a little nuance and say, hey, I also understand that, that he's got nobodies at wide receiver and he's being coached by an interim head coach who's scared to, do anything remotely aggressive, and the offense sucks and the scheme sucks and the offensive line's been disappointing. It's okay to acknowledge that stuff too. And he's played a really hard schedule with a ton of top 10 to top 5 defenses. That's fair too. I mean, I know a lot of people look at the box scores and just go off of that, but it's a tough situation. And I watched the clip yesterday of Mel Kiper and Field Yates talking about if they could redraft the 2025 draft. And again, it's a case of Mel going nuts because Cam Ward's been disappointing. That's my Mel Kiper impression. Yes, your Sanders would be a lot better. But here's the thing, and I mostly agree with Field Yates on that topic of you could put Shedeur on the Titans right now, and it would be the biggest clown show you've ever seen. He would be in football hell if Shedeur Sanders had been drafted. Jackson Dart, come on. Come on. You mean to tell me you think Jackson, whatever. That's a useless debate because we're never going to know. But I just don't believe this is a good situation for anybody, especially to be on a roster like this going against top 5 to top 10 teams and defenses every week. And another one's coming to town on Sunday. I say all of that to say this. I don't think it's as bad as it seems for the future. I got a ATL fanatic who is a friend of mine, is in the chat. I don't know if he's still watching, but think about the Falcons right now. They have talent everywhere. They got a top 10 pick at quarterback, a top 10 pick at running back, a top 10 pick at wide receiver, a top 10 pick at tight end. They've got first-round talent all over their defense. They traded up to get 2 edge rushers in the first round. They don't have a first-round pick this year, and they're 3-7. Coach is probably on a warm seat now, but you don't have a first-round pick. Your quarterback's hurt until at least August. Now, that sucks. That sucks. And there are other teams as well. I mean, look, if you are the Browns and Shedeur shows you nothing when he gets in there, and Dylan Gabriel has already shown you next to nothing. I mean, where are we heading as an offense here? The Raiders, they brought in Geno Smith to be like their Baker Mayfield or whatever, and he's been awful. Pete Carroll was brought in to be their veteran coach, and he's been awful. So I'm just saying, for the Titans, I understand the issues with the front office and how erratic they've been, but you could be in a lot worse spot than probably having the number 1 overall pick and the ability to trade back and get a haul, a lot of cap space to work with, bringing in a new head coach. I know it would have been better if Callahan would have been it, but at least, you know, they went on ahead and got him out, and now you get a new head coach that can hopefully be the right guy. New stadium coming, and Cam Ward, I think, has shown enough that you can feel hopeful about him. Some of you disagree. That's fine. I'm to the point where I don't care if you disagree. You're welcome to disagree. This is America. If you disagree, I'm not making it my responsibility to change your mind anymore. And you don't have to change mine. We can just disagree. But I think there's a lot to be hopeful about there. So there's a lot. It could be worse. I know right now it's 1-9, and the Seahawks are coming to town to make it 1-10 emphatically. I understand that, but in looking ahead, it's almost like some Titans fans feel they take it personal when you try to be hopeful about the future. And I'll wait and see who they hire as head coach, but I trust Borgonzi. I don't know if I trust Brinker as far as I can throw him. I don't know if I trust Amy as far as I can throw her, but I trust Borgonzi at least. And I have faith that they're going to try to figure it out and hire the right person as head coach who will bring in the right staff and get this thing going in a new direction. Some people act like it's ridiculous that they fired Callahan. I don't. I think Callahan was that bad. I think he was that bad that he had to be fired. So I don't think it's as bad as it seems for the long run. Right now it is. The team is as bad as you think they are and maybe worse. The situation right now is awful. But I'm talking about in the long run, I don't think it's as bad as we think it. And I hope it's not. I hope it's not as bad as we think it is, because I think I still say this, and some of you got so offended when I said it the first time, but I think every team in this league is one good offseason away from being competitive. Not going to a Super Bowl, not being contenders, but just being competitive. You go out, you hire the right. I mean, the Patriots weren't competitive a year ago. Now they're one of the best teams in the league. We see it all the time. The Bears were awful a year ago. Awful. And you want two examples of how quick it can turn around? Last year, the Bears were terrible. You already had, a very similar situation. You already had people ducking out on Caleb Williams. You already had people a year ago declaring Jaden Daniels was the star and Caleb Williams sucks and he was a bust. Bears look pretty dang good now. And Caleb's doing pretty well now as well. So you hire the right coach like the Bears did, like the Patriots did, it turns around, and it turns around quick. In one offseason, they both went from terrible to now they're winning all the time. And we see this every year. I'm not saying the Titans can go out and have one great offseason and come back and win the Super Bowl, but I'm saying one good offseason away from being competitive. You hire the right coach, bring in the right free agents, have a good draft. This could be totally different next year. And I know that offends some of you that listen to some other YouTubers that cover the Titans or talk about the Titans that, thrive on negativity constantly. And listen, sometimes it gets negative on here. Mondays tend to be pretty negative, and then by Friday it's a more reasonable, positive outlook. But it can get better. It can get better. They got to hire the right coach first, though. But it does not, you dang right I'm talking about him. It does not have to get worse, though. It does not have to stay like this. I know, it feels all negative now, but it does not have to be that way even next year. 32-1 NFL power rankings as I see it here in Week 12. Bottom three. Like I said, right now there's no denying the situation. The Titans are the worst team in the league. 100%. They're the worst. But I will say, I do think the Titans are still fighting. I don't see a team that's rolling over and quitting. I see a team that is still trying to win a game. So at least there's that. Number 31, I put the Jets in the bottom three. They were off this week. No, they weren't off. They lost to the Patriots on Thursday night. But, I mean, the Jets are awful. They're going with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback. Give me a break. Number 30, the Browns. I'll keep the Browns in the bottom three. I mean, I don't think they have a solution at quarterback on their roster. Let's get into the 20s now that we've got the Browns, Jets, Titans in the bottom three. Number 29, Raiders. Like I said, the Raiders, I mean, what do you do there? Geno Smith, you paid him this, to come in here and be your quarterback for a few years, hopefully, kind of a Baker Mayfield type thing. He's been awful. Pete Carroll just looks bored. Number 28, the Saints. I mean, what else can you say about the Saints? Like they're just languishing out there. Number 27, the Giants. I mean, we're to the point in the season where it's like I've said everything I can say about some of these. Some of y'all want the Giants to be good. You can't stand it. Like, you want Jackson Dart to be awesome so that you can get in chats like this and say, we did it, Jackson Dart! Number 26, the Falcons. The Falcons are a big disappointment this year, I got to say. The Atlanta Falcons have been very disappointing. They should be better. They should absolutely be better. Number 25, the Washington Commanders. Another team just very disappointing. And I know Jaden Daniels has been hurt. But again, everybody wants the C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels rookie year until you see how it turned out for him over the next couple of years when they regressed. And C.J. Stroud, I know his team looks really good right now, but Davis Mills about won them just as many games as C.J. has. Number 24, the Bengals. Looks like Joe Burrow's coming back, but it might be too little too late. Their defense is awful. Number 23, the Cardinals. Just another team that's there. They're just there. They don't have an answer at quarterback. I don't really know what they're going to do. I don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. Like, they're parting ways with Kyler Murray, I feel like. I mean, I don't know who the free agents are going to be, but I mean, like, for them, quarterback-wise, I think you're only going to have a couple in this draft that are worthwhile. Anyway, number 22, the Dolphins. I think it's not off the table that Mike McDaniel could save his job. They've looked better the last couple of weeks. They've been winning. If they keep winning, I mean, on one hand, it'd be a bad thing because if you want Mike McDaniel to be your new offensive coordinator, that's not going to happen if they keep him. But also, if they keep him, at least that means there's not another team out there that is looking for a head coach. I mean, as little competition as you can have to be the next head coach or out there looking for coaches, you know what I'm saying? But the Dolphins are there, and then the Cowboys are at 21. Just tough to know what to make of the Cowboys, man, because their defense always sucks, and their offense is always usually pretty good. They're just the middest of the mid. Number 20, the Vikings. Vikings have potential to beat anybody on any given week because they're well coached. But I'm telling you, J.J. McCarthy, never been a believer. And I know he had a really good game a couple weeks ago, but it was back down to earth this week. Number 19, the Jags. Jaguars, I mean, another up and down team. I mean, they had a humiliating loss to Houston when they gave up that lead, and then they came back and just walloped the Chargers. I don't know what to tell you about the Jaguars. Number 18, the Panthers. If you want another example of how it can turn around, Bryce Young was benched last year for Andy Dalton. Declared a bust, hopeless. He threw for like 450 yards the other day. And the Panthers are very much alive, not only in the wild card race in the NFC, but in terms of their division. They're only a half game back from Tampa Bay. Number 17, the Steelers. I'm just not buying the Steelers. I know the Steelers are winning, and they look all right, but I'm just not buying it. Like, they might make the playoffs, but they got first-round exit written all over them. Number 16, the Chiefs. It's crazy seeing the Chiefs this low on the list, but, I mean, they're 5-5. They're not winning the close games anymore. And, like, I hate to say it because I know I'm jinxing it, but, like, they're 5-5, and I'm looking at some of these other teams in the AFC. I'm like, is it possible the Chiefs miss? Is it possible the Chiefs miss the playoffs? Like, as you look at, okay, in the East, you got Patriots, Bills. In the South, you've got Colts, Texans, and Jags all playing better than the Chiefs. In the West, you've got Broncos, Chargers playing better than the Chiefs. And then in the North, you've got Ravens, Steelers. Like, there's a real possibility the Chiefs don't even make it. Number 15, the 49ers. I mean, they're good. They're definitely good. I don't know if I'd say they're great, but they're good. Number 14, the Texans. The Texans are coming on with Davis Mills as their quarterback. Their defense is just carrying them. Their defense is fantastic, as we knew they would be coming into the season. Number 13, the Ravens. I still don't think the Ravens have looked great or anything, but I think they're going to win that division. I mean, as we go down the stretch and you're about to get into Denver, where Derrick Henry shines, Lamar is Lamar. I think the Ravens will win that division. Number 12, the Chargers, and I'm being generous even having the Chargers this high because the Chargers looked horrible against Jacksonville. I mean, when the Chargers look bad, they look really bad, and they looked horrible against Jacksonville. Number 11, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay drops out of the top 10. I mean, there's been injuries and stuff, I know, but like it feels like a little bit of the shine has worn off of Tampa Bay a little bit. Let's get into the top 10. Tampa Bay needs to look out for Carolina in that division, by the way. Number 10, the Bills. I mean, I guess the Bills are a top 10 team. I guess they are. But I said last night, man, the Bills just ain't billing like they used to bill. I mean, they lost to Houston last night, looked awful. Josh Allen got sacked 8 times. But, I mean, they lost to the Falcons earlier this season. I mean, like, they're going to make the playoffs, I think, but I don't think they're catching New England in that division. And I don't think they're billing the same way they used to bill. They already lost to the Patriots one time. Number 9, the Bears. The first appearance by the Bears in the top 10 this season. Like I said, Ben Johnson, the right coach. Caleb Williams, looking better. For all of you who say, oh, you're ruining. It's so hypocritical. You're ruining Cam Ward by firing his head coach. Did it ruin Caleb Williams? Did it ruin Bryce Young? Because they're looking better. And the same thing happened to them. Did it ruin Trevor? Or do we only pick and choose when we want to dog organizations for doing that? Did anybody care that much when the Giants fired Brian Daboll a couple of weeks ago? Or do we only care when it's the Titans do it because they're just an easy target? Don't even get me started. And I'll tell you what, with the Bears, as the Lions are slacking and the Packers are always up and down, look out for Chicago in that division. Number 8, the Lions. I still trust the Lions more than the Bears right now, but the Lions, I see some things that concern me with the Lions. Like, I kind of feel the same way about them in the NFC as I do about the Bills in the AFC. They just ain't lioning like they used to lion. I don't feel that same magic that I felt from Detroit the last couple of years. But we got a ways to go. Maybe they'll change it. Number 7, the Packers. I mean, I want to trust the Packers. But having a hard time. Because just when I start to believe in them, they do something stupid. Number 6, the Seahawks. The Seahawks lost to the Rams. Darnold, I think that's going to be the key. It's same with Tannehill with the Titans when he was here. I understand Darnold usually plays great in the regular season. Can he do it when the lights are bright? Can he do it when it matters most? And in this game against the Rams, he threw 4 interceptions. So that's the main thing keeping me from buying Seattle as like a contender. Number 5, the Colts. The Colts were off this week, but again, I say it every week. I hate the Colts. I hate that they're this high on the list, but I mean, there's no denying after watching them. Number 4, the Eagles. Everybody keeps like saying the Eagles are fraudulent. The Eagles are, they're trash. They're going to fall off a cliff. They're the defending world champions, and they keep beating good opponents. They're beating Green Bay. They're beating Detroit. Like, I understand it's not as entertaining. I understand it's not fun to watch. But, I mean, the Eagles are winning. and they're the defending world champions. So I got them in the top 5. Number 3, Denver Broncos. I don't even remember the last time they lost. I don't even remember the last time the Broncos lost. And they got a great win over Kansas City. Number 2, the Patriots. Hate it, but I got to put the Patriots number 2. Drake May's playing unbelievably well. And Vrabel's got them believing. So I got the Patriots at 2. And then at number 1, give me the Rams. Rams beating the Seahawks this week. I think it solidifies them as the best team in the league currently. And that's how I see it as we go into week 12. And now it's time to make some picks. Let me know your picks for these games in the comments here as we go through. Colts, Chiefs. Whoo, boy. Colts are coming off of a bye. Chiefs are like backs against the wall. They're 5-5. And as I said, there's these other teams in the AFC that are coming on. I'm going with the Chiefs to win this game. I just got to believe. I mean, the chips are down. People are starting to really doubt whether the Chiefs dynasty is still intact. I'm going to say the Chiefs find a way to win. Steelers, Bears. This feels like a physical defensive game here. But I'm going to go with the Bears. I think the Bears are better than the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is questionable, I believe. In Chicago, you know that fan base is fired up right now. I'm going with the Bears. I think the Bears are just better than the Steelers. Patriots, Bengals. Possible return of Joe Burrow. Burrow listed as questionable. I doubt he plays. I'm going with the Patriots. I don't think Burrow's going to play. I'd be shocked if Burrow plays in this game. So I'm going with the Patriots over the Bengals. Jets, Ravens. Tyrod Taylor getting the start for the Jets. It's in Baltimore. Baltimore's a 13.5-point favorite. Give me the Ravens here. Vikings, Packers. This one's tricky because the Vikings are one of those teams, man, they could beat anybody on any week. But I'm going to go with the Packers. It's at Lambeau. I think the Packers are feeling that heat because the Bears are better than people thought they would be. I'm taking the Packers over the Vikings. I do not trust J.J. McCarthy at Lambeau. Giants, Lions. Give me the Lions. The Lions got to get a rebound win. It's in Detroit. Jackson Dart not playing for the Giants. So I'm going to go with the Lions. Lions are a 12.5-point favorite. Jags, Cardinals. Got to be the Jags. I'll go with the Jaguars to win. I think the Cardinals, they got Jacoby Brissett. Like, come on. What are we doing here? They're just trying to get to the end of the season. So I'm going with the Jaguars. Browns, Raiders, Shador. Just get ready, because if Shador throws for 100 yards and they beat the Raiders 10-7, I mean, there's going to be a party being thrown on ESPN. I'm going to say the Browns. I'm going to say the Browns win this game because their defense is stout, and the Raiders, I think Geno Smith's just going to be miserable against that Browns defense. So I'll go with the Browns. Falcons, Saints. I mean, this is about as inconsequential of a game as you could have in Week 12. I'll go Falcons. Well, but is it, I guess, Cousins, because Penix is done for the year. So I'll go Falcons. But I don't believe in them. Eagles, Cowboys. In Dallas. You know what? I just got a feeling. I'm going with the Cowboys. I just have a feeling about this game. In Dallas, late window, the Eagles are due a loss. I don't know. I just got a feeling. I'm going with the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys to win this game. Sunday night's a dandy. Bucks, Rams. I mean, I'm going with the Rams. Going with the Rams. I trust the Rams more than anybody right now. I'm going with the Rams. And then Monday night is the Panthers and the 49ers. This could be a huge week for the Panthers because if the Bucs indeed lose to the Rams on Sunday night and then the Panthers can go beat the 49ers, not only does that put the Panthers on the top of their division, but that is a statement win for Carolina if they can beat San Francisco on the road. However, I don't think they're going to do it. I'm going with the 49ers. I think the 49ers will beat the Panthers. I think the Panthers and Bucks will both lose in Week 12. And then Titans, Seahawks. Titans, Seahawks. You know what? I'm going with Seahawks. I'm going with Seattle. I can't even pretend. The Seahawks, I think, like I said, I think this could get ugly. I think this could be one of the most lopsided games of the season in the NFL. I think Cam Ward is going to struggle against this Seahawks defense, Texans defense is just as good, if not better, than the Seahawks. So, this is just two brutal defenses in a row. I just think the Seahawks are going to whoop them. Seahawks are coming off of a loss. They're mad. I'm going Seahawks. That's going to do it for me. I'll be back on Monday to talk about whatever happens on Sunday. I'll see you then. Tighten up, everybody. Bye.